And we are live.
Yes.
How are you, Janine?
I'm very good. Thank you. Thank you.
It's very good to hear from you. And
Yes.
guys, you've seen my bad face too long, but you've not seen so far the nice face of Janine. So,
Oh,
Janine, why
my God.
don't you introduce yourself pretty quickly?
Oh, all right. Okay. Um, I have been with SFM since March 2007, and I thought they were a really cool group to join because they were so enthusiastic about their own products. Um, and I was looking for something else to do. So I learned a lot. I was very happy to join until the Elite Plus. And then later on, I thought it was a good idea to go to Gold, right? So, and there I still am looking for more information about what they can give me as Gold member. And I'm still waiting for replies. So I'm kind of hanging in the air there. But well, they helped me to make decisions that were related to my job. Anyway, I was doing a 9 to 5 for 5 weeks after 9 years of world travel. And then I told myself, now I have evolved. When you do such a long travel, you're not the same anymore. So I couldn't handle the 9 to 5. So I was looking for something that has freedom, and I found it that way. So, but then I started my own company. Legalized it totally. I have a really totally one-man company, and now I'm kind of looking forward to getting a return from SFM. You know, that I get my leads and then I get the stuff out so that people can respond to it as well. And that's where I need masterminding.
That's great. Honestly, and I'd like to linger on that a bit because I don't want to give too much out now as to, the discussions on SFM. And I would actually, what intrigued me also last time we talked was, well, better probably to explain it as well to the people because you said it like, oh, well, such a long trip. What kind of trip are we talking about? And how long was that trip of yours?
Oh, 9 years. It was very special. Yeah, I didn't intend it. I thought I was going to go away for 2 weeks. I was working in a big American company, and I was well paid, really, and I didn't have to work much. So I was in a very good place, but it was empty. So it was like, I need to do something else. And I was invited to go to Hawaii with a few friends who were on the spiritual path, and they wanted to open a school for kids and dolphins and things like that. And I would be busy with training people into their consciousness. So I said, well, that sounds cool. I don't know what it is, but okay, let's go. So I said, well, you know what? I'm going to take the leap of faith, as they say. And I quit my job there and then. I just put an email to my boss after 17 years of, big American company. I said, goodbye. Do whatever you want to do. I quit. I quit. I just quit. And I left all the goodies that normally you get when you are fired. You get some goodies. You are paid a lot of money. And I had nothing. But that was okay. I wanted to. I'm not a fearful type.
Well,
So,
I can see that, but I mean, what brought? I mean, just because I guess many people can relate with what you're saying, right? With but many people also, if I may, are not or were not where you said you were. I mean, you said you said it yourself, Janine. Right now, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but pretty much, if I can tell, you said I was having it all, so it was all right for me. So, what made you say, "Listen, that's probably not enough," or not what I want?
what do you mean? When the 9 to 5 after that, or well, you mean the 9 to 5 after my 9 years of travel?
No, before. So when you actually decided to leave after 17 years and go for your 9 years of second life around the world, what made you actually get to that decision of saying, I quit?
Because first, the content of my life needed to be filled out. You see, when you work as a robot every day in the same routine, you are so and so, and I'm not a, let's say, a mediocre type. I'm highly intensive, let's say. Besides all the things I did for my work, I did a lot of things on the side, so I have a lot of energy. So I could go and work, but I can see that actually after a while it goes down. It's like the energy level of the company in which you are gets old for you, and you keep the energy, and it doesn't match anymore. You see, they go down. They say, well, they have their special ways of thinking, where they say, well, as of 45, you are starting to get old, and I'm like, no, that doesn't match with me. I mean, I know from my intuition that we are far more empowered than what those types of companies think. So my consciousness was different already. So I read a lot the last years before leaving, and we were growing out of synchronicity. I had a very different consciousness when I left. That's why I had so much trust in myself. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do. But I was following the lead of my heart, and I kept on following that. So I made a very, very different life from it.
All right.
But that's a whole story.
And back then, you were not thinking yet about creating a digital business.
No, absolutely not. Quite the contrary. For years I was in a more hippie community life where everything's about nature and flowers and music, like the guitar. I had my own guitar, and I was in love and light mode. But I saw a lot of people being not happy, but not wanting to say it anymore. So they were in the layer where they said, you know, this is the love and light life, but if you are unhappy about something, you are not allowed to say it. And I said, well, that doesn't match with me, because I love to say when something is not right, tell it. At least you can do something about it, but don't stay with it. It gets in your way other way. So after a few years, I said, this is not my life either. And I was only carrying my computer for communication, but not for selling, and nothing.
Okay. So with no offense, but you probably were not the technical person, right? Or were you?
Oh no, I was. I am. Before I left, I have I'm skilled at PC work. I'm really skilled. I mean, I do have my luggage. I make my own websites. I do everything. No. Yeah, but I thought it was a good thing to leave it behind, because I wanted to check out what it does to you.
Okay, so you actually said, I'm good at it, but it's not what I'm going to look at for making a living for the time being. I'm going to find something else, probably not with technology, at least for 9 years, that worked for you.
Yeah, about a few years, not the 9 years. Not 9 years.
So you were thinking, so when did you actually start considering the creation of a digital business?
When I got back after 9 years, I worked for 5 weeks in a company, a very small company here. And this is something I did for so many years before. And I said, I don't want to repeat myself. I want to do something new. Okay. I was looking for, and then I saw a Stewart's pedalo thing.
Yeah.
And he, of course, he's very convincing, and the story he was telling was something I could do some with, and I wanted to join. I wanted to see what it gave.
So when did you join SFM?
March this year.
In March this year.
Yeah.
And how has it been for you, the journey so far?
First month, absolutely enthusiastic. That's why I bought the gold thing, and then I started to find that how can I say this? I was looking for some specific technical help, and I didn't feel they were hearing me. You know, the back office, they're very kind, but on some level, I was like asking a few questions about my new websites that I bought with them. And I said, well, how is this now tied into their automatic system and so on? And I wanted to know how it worked so I could make it for myself. That's what I thought they were selling. And I couldn't get the right answer. So I said, okay, let's leave it, and let's go to Greg and Fiona, who are my mentors for gold. And they are kind of, let's say, my enthusiasm got down. I didn't get my answers either.
And have you actually, because I mean, today, I mean, this change that we're having, discussion we're having, is actually going to be also seen by people who are thinking to get started, right? So I guess everybody has their own path. And definitely you started in March. I mean, are you now in a position where you would say, well, I started, and it's normal, right? When people start, if you guys have ever seen the hype curve of startups, because what you actually are doing is it is as creating a startup. You started with an enthusiasm like this high, but then actually as the time went by, as you put in your effort, as you know, probably also commensurate to your expectations. I don't know what your expectations exactly were. Maybe, you know, to start generating a certain level of income after a defined period of time. Then these got down, right? And it is probably where you are at the moment.
Yes. Now, what I want to add is, you know, SFM as a mentoring company, they are really good. They're really good. They don't only give you the information about, you know, the technical side, but they certainly work on how you are in your head, what you're thinking. And I have learned a lot there. Especially, yeah, that's good. That's good. So I have my own work to do, where thanks to you actually, and thanks to the idea of working together, I'm starting to get myself back online, and to tackle the problems. You know, that's what we learn. You have to face your demons. At a certain point, it's like in your head, these little voices are saying, you know, you can't do this. You know, it's not worth it. And maybe some other negative things. But I'm telling you that if you're ready to tackle those things, you will see that it's not about the quality that SFM puts out, but it's about the quality that you put out.
Yes,
and then you have to take your own responsibility. And my thing is now to find the technical me to be able to become someone that sells online. See?
Yeah, this is also honestly an awesome message, because I think that just today even I was on the train, just to share a bit of a small portion of my day today, where I had a conversation on well, sometimes guys it's just like that after a long day, or when I'm not really into my physical prowess, like I'm not feeling really great these days. I was on the train, I didn't really feel like picking up the phone and talking to this person, and we started exchanging WhatsApp messages. And you know, the messages were like, well, you know what, this is a person that I know here where I am in Switzerland, and I had conversations with him about creating a digital business, and he's doing a totally different activity. And you know, he's actually coming from a different perspective of saying, well, you know, I'm not even sure this works at all. So he's not even got to the point where he took the decision and actually got started with doing something. Whereas I think, and I was passionate about these. I didn't really feel like talking about it in the train with all the people around, but I started writing a message. And listen, if you probably are not justified to say that you don't believe in something if you haven't even tried with something. And then I told him as well, listen, I agree. That's where I also completely agree with what you said, Janine. If you're getting to the point of doing something and you're not really seeing the results, before blaming what you are actually trying to achieve and not achieving, try and understand why the things that you are doing are not bringing the desired results. Maybe they're not the right things, or maybe sometimes you have too high expectations on yourself. I mean, you're just starting with this. If you start with something new, are you going to be perfect the first time you do something? Probably not. And you know, I guess that's also the realization I'm coming at, and the realization that if we come together, when we come together as people with a common goal, with a common mindset, that's why I also am a big sponsor and fan of mastermind groups, but focus groups like the one that we're having. And of course, we need to bring it forward, but we can come together, and from there we can spark ideas around things that we can do ourselves or do together. So that's where I'm getting excited again, because it's also, guys, about enjoying the journey. If we don't enjoy the journey, after a while, we find, even if we were, so my point is this, right? Even if we were creating a business starting in a couple of months that was generating a reasonable amount of cash. Reasonable means, you know, it pays the bills. It's okay. Doesn't need us to get us necessarily rich. But if we're not excited, if we're not having fun, what's the difference between having that and having some other activity that we are not enjoying anymore? It will probably be the same. So for me, that's the component. We here have the freedom of building something that we can shape with the people we like and how we like. So it's, you said something very, very deep about that. Thank you for this. It's and also you're coming from a story where, I mean, you really travel the world. I mean, it's not like most people don't do that. Most people dream about that, and you actually did that before doing this. So it's cool. Is it true, actually, Janine? You told me last time you are a Tai Chi teacher.
Yes, I am.
What does it mean being a Tai Chi teacher?
Well, yeah, martial arts has been my love of life since the age of 5. So where I fell in love with David Carradine, you know, with the Kung Fu series.
Yeah, I know him. Yeah,
absolutely fantastic. I fell in love with that. But it took me until my 30th year with multiple martial arts in Japanese arts, let's say judo, karate, and so on, before I found the Kung Fu world. So I did that. And you know, you have Wushu, which is the real name for Kung Fu, and you have Tai Chi, which is a side effect of Wushu. So I dived into that too, and it's an internal or an inner art. So already it has to do with the mental strength, the emotional strength, and balance in general.
So I have a challenge for you here. What's the single most precious Tai Chi lesson in 30 seconds that you can give to the people who are watching these about, you know, taking action?
All right. I would say if you want to take action, you have to first center yourself. You have to become still. You have to get out of the head, and you have to become one with everything that you are. So, and in that bubble, you will create something that is uniquely you and which has power of you, which is much greater than the human self that you have.
That's honestly something that I'm not sure. I think I would like to watch it again to really truly understand how to do that. But that's the cool thing about this. I think we could really make a series out of these, and there's so much, honestly, that goes on around teaching ourselves and teaching the others how to reach certain mindset results, even before actually reaching other kind of results that maybe sometimes are an effect of us changing ourselves. But then tell me a bit more about your experience with the digital world. You started in March. I understand you're saying, you know, we are all having our personal journey with that. What is this strategy? I mean, what are you actually doing? How are you being active? Or how have you been active in the digital space so far?
Okay, digital. I started to learn every day. I followed the modules. I did all the exercises. I started my challenges, the video challenge. I started on the metaphysical portion of it, so making ideas, forging my grid actually. As I come from a space where everything was possible, I had to re-grid myself, forge myself a new system, buy myself an agenda and a calendar, and making daily routines. I'm very good at that, but I left that for 9 years, so I had to change my mind again. I had to really make myself rebirthing. So for months I worked daily as I had to do that, and I love that because the whole process of the elite curriculum is very well made. It's easy to follow. You just have to do the work, and you start to learn a lot about the mindset of a marketer, which is new for me. You know, you talked about Dan Holloway. Now that guy has a lot of success, but he has been a sales marketer for years before. So he has a huge advantage. He knows how people think. So I had to learn that.
And you don't think you know how people think? I mean, you're you're a person, right?
Not for sales.
Not for sales, but so maybe because that's also one of the first things I've ever heard, and that applies to me when I actually started any conversation around digital marketing, affiliate marketing. One of the first things, and that's, guys, also opening a parenthesis, by the way, it's there is a great book that I advise if you have not read it until now. It's called I believe it's something like Selling to Sell is Human by David Pink. Go look for it because it's really a great book. One of the things that I was impressed by was the fact that in one of the opening sections, in one of the opening pages, David writes something about people don't like to be sold. But if you think, and people, honestly, the majority of the people you ask say they don't even like, or they don't believe they're able to sell to other people. But then his questions become a bit deeper and away from a pure financial aspect of selling and buying. And the question he asks is, but if you think about it, isn't moving people, so convincing people to do certain things, exactly what we do day in and day out in our lives, even if it's only by asking people, should we go out, eat a pizza tonight, or Chinese? Or maybe we should try the new Argentinian place. So if we think about that, and if we investigate a bit more, we may find out that we actually are more close to being able to do these things that we believe. But I agree with you in a general sense that people like that have been there probably before in a more open way. And now it's about being more aware ourselves that we can also do that. So the one single thing that you provided a Tai Chi lesson. Mine is not a Tai Chi lesson, but it's something that is honestly very motivating. I find it very motivating for me. And it's about writing down the single most thing that, my single most big belief that is blocking me from doing certain things. And then taking a conscious decision to block it. And this for me was, honestly, guys, if I think about everything, I don't think I'm able to sell, right? This is something I don't believe I am good at. So I consciously took a decision of saying, why should I not be good at selling? So let's take it out. Of course, it doesn't mean that I will just become automatically a salesperson tomorrow, but it means that, you know, it's a step after another to get into the direction of being able to finally having a thriving digital business online. And I'm curious, so far, so you've been setting up, no, you said you have not been setting up your own funnel, right? You're mostly relying on what SFM does. So you're generating the leads through them.
No, as soon as I got to SFM, I had the gift that I started my own company. So they didn't really only helped me to get out of my 9-to-5 that I had for 5 weeks, but they helped me to take the next step with boldness. I didn't have anything to sell at the moment or at the time in March.
Yeah.
But I took the step and I made my company, and now I'm starting my Tai Chi lessons again. I have artwork that I'm going to sell. I have a few companies I work with as an affiliate next to SFM. And SFM as well is part of my curriculum. And they allowed me to take that step. They motivated me to be independent.
That's good.
They gave me, yes, they gave me the gift of trying a new thing, a salesperson. And I know I can do it. And every day since I joined, I become stronger at it. So I'm a natural introvert. And here I am really stretching myself to become a person that is really out there. And that's a big difference.
Do you join? Thanks for sharing that, first of all, because I think many people would not share something that, and by the way, you don't look by any means any more introvert than the majority of the people I interact with. So I guess kudos anyway. If you really believe it means that you are showing the results of also the action that you're taking on yourself. So if I may say so. Are you joining the live sessions from SFM these days? Are you joining any other live session that is taking place?
I took a break of 2 months, but because of you, I'm starting it again. So I send an email to SFM to restart the discussion about my gold level, and to bring it back online. So I'm getting interested again, and I guess this is going to be a good step forward on a new level.
Okay. An interesting thing that you said as well is, and I don't know, it maybe applies to me. What I found out about myself in general, and I think so far SFM has really helped me a lot in telling me one thing: stay focused. Don't start with 10 different things, because that's honestly my tendency. My tendency is always, okay, I need to do this. Okay, no, I need to do this as well. And I start building up some things that I don't manage to scale up because I keep adding to the breadth of it other than to the depth of it. But you demonstrated as well that you're doing something which is going in different directions, all coming from, and honestly, being an affiliate marketer or having your own products as well to advertise, to promote your own image, to sell. I think that what we really are doing here is not becoming affiliate marketers, is really becoming better promoters of our own digital image, so that honestly we can use that to become really what we want to do, what we want to become, and do what we want to do. If you ask me today what I love doing, there's several things. Is there one thing that I would love to do most? Perhaps. Am I doing it day in and day out yet? Not yet. I am getting there, meaning that at least I'm taking conscious steps to get there. But I think it's very useful. We are learning skills that are scalable and applicable. So the people that are asking me, for example, oh, okay, but honestly, the things that you're learning are things that you could learn pretty much everywhere, and maybe you can only use to work with SFM or anything similar. I said, no, totally the opposite. It's actually, first of all, it might be true, there are skills that you can learn anywhere, but then my question back would be, why isn't everyone learning them if that's the case, first of all? And secondly, we're learning really skills that we apply to ourselves. Once we have that learning, and once we have examples like the one that you just provided, Janine, about yourself, I think it becomes clearer to people. I mean, gosh, there can be even people with brick and mortar businesses learning this to just bring whatever they are doing today to the next level on the digital space. It doesn't really need to be only for selling SFM products. That's the power of this. I'm really convinced about it. So what are you finding, if I may ask then, what are you finding most challenging at the moment?
A few months ago, I would have said to connect back to the curriculum that I have subscribed for. But today I find a relief to get on with it again. So I can't say I have a real challenge, because I'm really someone that takes action. I know that it's my character. So I'm relieved that I'm taking action again, and supported by your motivation. So I'm doing good. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I mean, this is honestly appreciated. And if I may get it, because this is also, I think masterminds are also places where people get together because they do have similar mindsets and similar interests. And honestly speaking, we want to learn stuff, we want to apply it, we want to bring it to the next level. One of the measures of the success of what we're doing is definitely, it's not only that one, don't quote me on that, definitely, but it's also the financial aspect of it. So the results. And without going into the numbers, right? I don't want anybody to share any numbers if they're not comfortable with doing that. But how would you fare? I mean, are you actually able, and now I'm going to ask a very open question about it, and there's no secret, we're all here to learn and improve. I'm the first one. Sure. Are you to a point where you're actually able to live off of your digital activity?
No, absolutely. No.
What do you think would help you get there?
I need to find a connect to the people on the internet worldwide that are interested in the quality of what SFM is giving. So I have to develop for myself the right voice, the right tone and intonation on how I'm going to go about that. It needs to go with me as well. So I can't put anything out that I don't believe in. So, and I do believe that SFM has a very good product, and I want to mix that with myself. And I guess that's where I'm looking for the right mix, so that I can be very open, honest, and I can sell it without any reservation. I'm sure that once I have that, I will have a voice in the world wherever, and I will be able to say with full confidence that it's very good to be part of it.
And how could people like me, like the others belonging to the group, help you do that?
I would like to hear your stories, your ideas, the way you put things out, perhaps even the technical ways, but make it very easy, so that it's. I'm sure that when it's easy, you are on a better lead than making it complicated. So when it's easy, I can read your words, I can listen to you, I can take some advice and so on. So just share like this. I'm sure someone will take something out of this, as I will take something out of some other conversation.
I'd say it's great, and the reason why I'm also asking this is because, gosh, I'm making such I'm looking back at where I was 6 months ago. I started in April, pretty much. Okay, it's not 6 months yet, but I mean, about 6 months ago when I actually started observing the things, educating myself, and then I took the decision to start with these, is the different kind of conversations I was having with people. So the conversations I was having with people were more about, I feel there is something missing, and I didn't know what that was. Now my conversations are different, and I'm telling to the people out there who are thinking, okay, what have you gotten out of it? Am I to a point where I'm also able to live off of the activities that I'm doing online? No, I'm not there yet, guys. That's why we are building this, and we want to be successful. But I would lie to you if I said that I didn't get any improvement in my quality of life, right? Because there's not only that aspect, it needs to come, definitely, but there's not only that aspect. If you have the right set of mind, I'm a big believer of the fact that if you start thinking the right way, the right things will start popping up and, you know, heading your way. But if you start being angry, negative, unsure, then can you really expect everything around you to bring you the shortness, the clarity that you need? It needs to come from here first. So I was saying this because there is another person, so another friend that I talked to, a very close friend, I always appreciate, and he's one kind of a friend always asking me the questions that normally not even my wife would ask me, you know, about why am I really doing something? Because my wife would say, yeah, you know, I support you, it's there. Sometimes I actually need people to tell me straight to the face, I don't think that what you're doing is right, or I don't think that what you're doing in the right way. So I had this open conversation about it, and I was saying this is exactly what we should do here. So in this mastermind group, and not being shy, not shying away, first of all, from sharing the feedback with other people and from considering the feedback that we're given. So just to share, one of the feedbacks he gave me when I was telling the whole story, I think I talked for half an hour to him because I hadn't seen him for some time, and he was completely silent in front of me. We were actually in quite a busy place, but it was like that space was protected. There were the two of us. And so he kept listening in silence. After a while, he said, I understand what you're trying to do, or I think I do understand what you're trying to do. What about, and then he started asking me a question that I would not have expected, because I was thinking, okay, you know what, he's a friend of mine, but he's probably not into it. He gave me very precious feedback, which I need to share with all of you, and it is about the consistency. Janine, you talked about finding your own voice. I think that I'm actually honestly having that as a primary challenge for myself, because then he gave me, what I did was I showed to him all the digital touch points of my communications out there, and he made me notice some inconsistencies that honestly I was given. I mean, for me, the message was clear in my head, but it's difficult sometimes to see it from the receiving perspective. So we need that kind of feedback, guys. And I would like these group of people to be that resonance. So share the feedback. Don't, yeah, honestly, share your material. And if you say,
Luca.
yeah, sorry, go ahead, Janine.
Yes, Luca. I wanted to jump on your resonance word. I am a musician, as you are. I'm a pianist, and and you are a guitarist. I've seen it. That's cool.
Not a great one, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I believe that if you find your orchestra, your inner orchestra, playing together, you have it. It's true for everything in your life. As soon as you say clap, snap, that's it. You know you are on the right track. It's tonal. So about inconsistencies, these are disharmonics in the system, and I find that that's why it takes so much time. I don't care that I was in a, let's say, in a retractive mode for a few months about SFM. I needed that to see where my disharmonies are, and they're mine. So, and now I'm starting, because I attracted you, and you were voicing out a lot of the things that I wanted to say. I kind of get into a harmony about how I'm going to be as a salesperson. And I have been doing 3 presentations already.
Wow.
One on Touch One, another one on my company with SFM. Little presentations, not many people. And now I'm planning 3 or 4. So I'm in a better mood already.
Live
so I begin to start, yes. Sorry?
Live presentations, I mean, with people around you, or? That's great.
But small ones, you know, not more than 5 people.
That's great, Janine. That's great.
Yeah. So these are the outcomes of working with SFM. They kind of gave me a new grid, and I'm filling it out. And I can tell to the people listening that that's what is the most important. They are laying a foundation. They are giving opportunities, and you have to pick in that beautiful store whatever goes with you.
Yeah.
So I'm doing it, and it's a process.
Yeah, and you know, guys, what I found about myself, at least, is that so I like writing, but I even understood more that more than writing, I like shooting videos. I would have never expected it of me, and but I'm also finding out some of you know a person who's pretty famous on the YouTube world, and his name is Neistat. You can actually go look him up. I think he's one of the most famous YouTubers. He didn't even start with YouTube. And one of the things that I really appreciate, and one of the reasons why he's so famous, is because the quality, the technical quality, he's coming from a filmography background himself. So the technical quality with which he creates those 10 minutes, so you go through those 10 minutes and it looks like it's a breathe. It's a very nice story you can follow. You talked about simplicity before. It looks so simple. But then you also realize, once you start doing things yourself, that the amount of work that is behind them. Well, I started saying, even if I was up to the point of creating the same technical quality, I would still not be Casey Neistat. So everybody here needs to find what they really can take from that famous shot that you just mentioned. So I'm really with you there. But sometimes we also need some help realizing. So I think acknowledgement is important, because sometimes, I mean, we cannot be sure that what we're doing is going in the direction that we are intending, right? All right, I think it's actually 10 minutes to 9, and I think that we definitely will do it again, Janine, and we'll do it again with other people hopefully joining us. See others telling me, oh yes, let's please find the time. Find the time
Yes.
would be probably a bit of the harder part, but we'll make it. What's your last message to the people for tonight?
For those listening, SFM is a very special company because they are mixing consciousness with technicality and the world of today. And I would highly recommend that they check it out and keep checking it out and perhaps dive into it for a few months or let's say for a year, because it's worth a while. It changes your perspective. You become a better person, more expansive, and you get a lot of opportunity to be in a much better career with, you know, beautiful surprises. I'm really, really very happy that I have joined them. So it sounds like, you know, publicity, but it is really a good company.
Well, honestly, I think what if anything, even people who just started looking at these recently have learned that what you're saying is something you mean as well. I think you have a way of saying things. By the way, what is your, if people wanted to go also and see, do you have a blog? Do you have a site that people might go out and look at?
Yeah. You know, I have in the spiritual world been called an indigo.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, it's a color, but it's also like, you know, a certain consciousness people. So I called my website Indigo Digital Lifestyle and .com or .net. I have both of those, so they can visit me there. So that's fine.
I will put the link in the description here, so guys, you don't miss that. And when you find the chance, go there, indigodigitallifestyle.com or .net. Have a look. Please provide your feedback as well, and let's help each other engaging with the content, because I think that one of the things that excites me the most every time I write a piece of content and I put it out there, and you can go see it in notheretobegiven.com, by the way, it's I like when people just comment and interact with it, because then this sparks the discussion. So Janine, very kind of you to join tonight. You made the time, and guys, this is for you. This is not just for ourselves. This is for you. Let's build something good. I suspect that there's more that's going to come also in the Tai Chi space. So those of you who have watched these tonight might actually want to stay tuned and see what else is coming up, because it's going to be fairly interesting. Janine, thank you so much. Have a great evening.
You're most welcome. Bye, Luca.
Ciao. Ciao, everyone.
Ciao.